Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening. Whatever time it is when you hear this message, I pray that you're poised to receive, to accept, and to respond to words of wisdom. Ashe. There is one huge threat to our culture and our tradition right now. If I had to really identify public enemy number one within our community, it would be insecurity. Insecurity, right? Um, Insecurity looks like, for example, rejecting things that we don't understand, rejecting things that make us uncomfortable just because they make us uncomfortable, right? But when you're in a state of insecurity, everything makes you uncomfortable, even when it's an improvement. Okay. And so to better understand this, let me explain to you why you're so insecure, right? Maybe not you as an individual, but as a culture, we as a culture, right? So insecure because we are like children or like, kind of spoiled teenagers or something who are totally dependent on other people for our life, but at the same time, we think we know everything, right? We want everything. We feel entitled to everything, but we don't know how anything works, right? And so let's do a little test. And I'm going to say that what I'm going to say actually is not a test. I'm just going to challenge you. Things that I know you don't know. You don't know where your water comes from. You don't know where your electricity comes from. You don't know where your bananas come from. You don't know where your apples or your pears or your cherries come from. You don't know where the gas in your stove comes from versus the gas that goes into your car. You don't know where it comes from. You don't know where your chicken comes from. You don't know where your beef comes from. You don't know where your pork comes from. You don't know where anything that supports your day-to-day life comes from. You have completely accepted the reality that somebody else somewhere who you don't know and will never meet has assumed responsibility for all of the materials that you need to live the life that you know today. The only thing you do is get the money and go to the place where you can buy. But as far as actually producing, manufacturing, processing, distributing any of the things that make your life go, you don't know. You don't know, right? And you don't know. And so fundamentally, that creates a deep seated sense of insecurity and uncertainty because this is the stuff that you use all day, every day. But somebody could hit the switch and you'd be out of the loop, right? Today, you're totally outside of the cycle of life and creation and production, right? Which means fundamentally, you don't have the capacity to participate in the conversation about really solving your own problems. You don't have the capacity to even join. You don't even know where the conversation is taking place, let alone have the language and the knowledge base to participate in the conversation, right? That makes a level of insecurity because even though you're an adult and even though you're responsible, you have a supremely high level of dependency on unknown people and unknown factors. It creates within you a sense of deep insecurity and uncertainty because you're totally dependent on people you don't know for everything. Okay? So when you hear good ideas, right, the only thing you can use to evaluate whether or not the idea you like it or not is, does it make things more expensive for you, or does it make things less expensive for you? Does it mean you have to drive an extra mile to pick things up? Does it mean you don't have access to certain things whenever you want it? That's how you determine whether or not something is a good idea. Is it convenient for you? When sometimes what's convenient for you is actually bad for you. Sometimes good ideas make things, they inconvenience you. But if you really understand how the systems work, then you're going to be happy to take that inconvenience. You're going to be happy to make that sacrifice because you understand that sacrifice, that inconvenience today is what's going to enable this system to yield something greater for you tomorrow. Okay. And so this is part of what drives me to continually insist that you get trained before you get initiated. Because the training isn't just about learning the calendar and learning to recite this and learning to recite that and learning how to do this ritual or that ritual. The training is about helping you to engage in a sequence of activities that will reprogram you, basically. It will help shape you into the kind of a person that was original. It gives you it dials you into original thought, an original way of being. It helps you to do things the way we used to do them so that things will turn out the way that they used to turn out. Right? It doesn't make you primitive. It's not about, primitivism. It's about originality. And originality is essentially aligning you with the systems, right? Everything is happening as part of a system. It could be a political system, it could be an economic system, it could be a spiritual system, but you got to tap into the original elements of the system and watch those key elements move and interact with one another to make decisions that are in alignment with the real transfer of power from one place to another. So in the same way that you understand how your bananas get from one place to another, or your water gets from one place to another, you understand how the spirit of the divinities gets from one place to another, and how you make decisions that align yourself with that flow of power from one place to another. Right? And so that's what we're really up to in the School of Orisa Studies and the Orisa Lifestyle Academy. Everything is about helping you to adopt a worldview and a perspective that not only awakens you to the systems, but it enables you to place yourself as a decision maker, as an actor within the system of life and creation, as it is unfolding for you right here, right now, wherever you find yourself. Okay. And at the root, this is the key to eliminating and dissolving all feelings of insecurity so that you can truly evaluate, hey, a good idea. And when you hear a good idea, you don't translate that as, oh, somehow if someone has a better idea than you have, it doesn't mean that the person is smarter than you. It doesn't mean that the person who has a better idea is better than you. It doesn't mean that the person who has a better idea is more worthy than you. It just means that that person has identified a more direct way for you to participate in the system of life. And when you see that is helping you solve your problem, it doesn't matter where the idea comes from. It just matters that this idea is really going to help you get greater access to the power that is pervasive in your world. Like I said, political power, economic power, spiritual power, whatever kind of power it is. A good idea is a good idea. Okay. And we within our tradition and within our culture, more than anybody else, we're desperate for that kind of access. We desperately need to align ourselves with the systems that will increase and refine our power, both personally and collectively. So, as I always say, I'm looking for leaders. I'm looking for people who want to devote themselves to improving the world through positive influence. If you're one of those persons, please find out how Obafemi Origunwa and the Orisa Lifestyle Academy can help take your practice and your life to the next level and help you start living the medicine that will heal your life and heal the lives of those who you're destined to serve. Visit me at obafemio.com or orishalifestyle.com and start getting into the program. I've got books available. There's a blog. There's lots of free materials. There are courses. Lots and lots of opportunities for you to get involved. So I look forward to talking to you soon. Bye for now.